guys, welcome back. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me and just being on this journey with me. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm so appreciative. So today's topic is going to be traveling. I am a very, very big traveler. I think traveling has become just a huge part of who I am and of my life. So I'm very passionate about this topic. And I think it's something that just everyone should do. I do think that traveling has changed me as a person. I know that sounds super cliche, I found myself, but I have. I mean, I think it's just opened my mind so much, and it's just shown me like there's so much out there, and it just made me a better person and a better human. And I see the value in traveling. I see the value of getting to know other cultures, other people, because at the end of the day, like, we're all human and we're a lot more alike than we think. And sometimes we just don't know that, because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you don't get out of like where you live or like who you hang out with, it's really hard to get to know what's out there. And I think traveling, it's just amazing. And it can be a little intimidating, it could be a little hard, it can be a little things can happen, things go wrong all the time, but I think what you get out of it is a lot more important, and it's just definitely worth it. So before we get into the topic, I want to do a little bit of a life update, just so you guys kind of get to know me a little more and see like where I am in my journey. I am still single and I'm still going through the breakup stage. I'm still going through the process, so all of that's still the same. I'm still working on school. I'm gonna start my finals soon. So I'm doing that. I'll have one more semester. I'll be graduating in April. Then I'll have like one more class after that I need to finish, and then I'll be done with school. And I don't know, we'll see where life takes me after that. Everything else is pretty much still the same, so nothing new there. So let's get into the topic. So I have been to 27 countries, and I am very, very proud of that. I'm 27, have been to 27 countries. The last trip that I took was in August. I really like giving gifts to myself, like those kind of gifts. So it was my birthday present to myself. I met up with one of my cousins who's studying abroad in Germany. I landed in Munich. We did Berlin. We did Vienna, Budapest, Prague, and then I came back here. So it was 4 countries. I was there for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. So I've been to 27 different countries. Out of those 27, I've done 5 solo trips. Like, I've just gone by myself. So I'm also very, very big on solo travel. I know it sounds scary. I know that people get in your head, especially as a female, like, oh, it's scary, and then you watch Taken and Hostel and all those kinds of movies, but it's not like that. It's pretty amazing, and there's so many of us. Like, there's so many solo travelers, so don't be discouraged. I'll be making probably a video all about solo travel, but today I want to focus on budget traveling. I had a poll on Twitter going about what's keeping you guys from traveling the world, and 82% of you said that money is what's keeping you. And I just want to say that I am living proof that you don't have to be rich to be able to travel. I'm not rich. I started traveling right after college, so I was a broke college student making $11 an hour, and I was able to take myself to Europe. So I started traveling. It wasn't even my idea. It was one of my cousins. She really wanted to go to Paris, and she was like, come on, like, I have no one, like, please come with me. And she found this tour company to go through. They're called EF Travel. And she was like, all you have to do is put a deposit. So it was a $150 deposit. She was like, please just do it. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know. Like, that's a lot of time, because I think I want to say it was like 18 days. So it was kind of a long trip. And she was like, please, let's do this. Like, I really want to. So I was like, fine. And all I did was I put my deposit down, because I was like, if I put my deposit down, like, I'm going. And the good thing about EF, it's that you put your deposit down, and then you can make monthly payments towards your trip. So as long as you have it paid before you leave, like it's good, and you don't have to pay a certain amount unless that's how you set it up. But I think it's a great way to it was a great way to get me started traveling, and it was a great way to kind of open that door for me, because for your first trip, it's a lot harder to just plan it on your own. So a tour company is great because they plan everything for you. And I think it's like EF Break, EF College, it was all college students. So we were all around the same age. All had the same interests. Like during the day, we'd go sightseeing, we'd learn about the city, we'd learn about historic monuments and places and people, and then at night we'd party all night. And it was, I want to say there were like 25 of us or something. So it was really cool because not only did I get to know and see and meet new places, like I got to meet a lot of cool people. And I can honestly say that out of the 27 countries I've been to, I've probably met more than one person in each country. So so traveling is just amazing. It's an amazing way to meet other amazing human beings. So going on a tour it's a good way, and it can be a little bit more pricier than if you did it by yourself. But I think the fact that a lot of tour companies do have payment plans, it helps a lot, because you know, you might not have all the money right away, but paying it monthly is a lot easier, especially like where I was in my situation. I was I was broke, I didn't have money, but I kind of said, okay, this is how much I can afford to give each month. And I like made it a priority. I stopped shopping, I stopped going out as much, I stopped eating out as much, and all that money was going towards my trip. And it was exciting. It was exciting to be spending money on something that I really wanted to do and something that I really wanted to experience, and just giving myself that opportunity was really, really exciting. So that's like one way to do it, where it might not be the cheapest, but it is a great way to kind of manage your money and kind of not have to do everything at once, but pay monthly. So that's a great way to go. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, there's so many tour companies and so many places that do this kind of payments. So that's a good way for people who may not think that they have the money now. But I mean, if you give yourself a year and you break it down monthly, it can be affordable to some. So that's one way to do it. The best way, or probably cheapest way to travel, is to just go backpacking. So for those of you guys who don't know what hostels are very, very similar to hotels. But hostels give you the opportunity to share a room with people. So there's hostels that have, 2 beds. I've stayed in a hostel that had 14 beds in one room. So hostels are kind of more like dorms. But if you're looking to budget travel, they're like probably the cheapest places that you can stay. And I'm talking, I think the lowest I've ever paid for a hostel was $16 a night. So we're talking very, 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 it's cheap. If you're okay with sharing a room with other people, sharing a bathroom, obviously, I think most hostels have like communal bathrooms. It's actually a great way to travel because it's not that expensive. You can afford it. Some even include breakfast, which is awesome because that's already taking a part of your budget out. You know, you don't have to worry about eating breakfast. Some of them offer like $3 breakfast. And I know it sounds scary. I know there's movies out there that make hostels seem like this terrible, awful thing, but they're not. I've stayed at hostels by myself and nothing's ever happened to me. As long as you're safe, as long as always take a lock for all your stuff because you are sharing a room with other people. And a great, great website to look at hostels is hostelworld.com. So they have, you know, you put in the city, you put in the dates, read all of the reviews. I mean, I read every single reviews. There's so many just amazing hostels that have bars, that offer, like I said, offer breakfast that, you know, are very artistic. I think hostels aren't meant for travelers, so we have a lot of just great people that are there for the same thing. They're also a great way to meet others, and they're great for solo travel. So if you're budget traveling and solo traveling, because when you travel by yourself, all the expenses are on you, so it is a little bit more expensive, but it's a great way to meet people because you're literally in a room with others that you're going to talk to them. So hostels, I recommend. Don't be scared, but hostels aren't for everyone. Maybe hostels aren't your thing. Another great way to budget travel is Airbnb. So if you haven't heard of Airbnb, Airbnb is a website where people can rent out their homes or a room in their house for other people to stay. So it's a lot cheaper than a hotel because you would be staying in someone's house. A lot of people have rooms, so that's a great way to budget travel, and B, also solo travel, because a lot of times the host, the people, like the owners of the house, they take you out, they show you around, they tell you where to go. So that is also a great way. I think Airbnb, it's very safe, it's secure, you do everything through the website. If you ever have an issue, you can call Airbnb and they usually resolve problems really, really fast. So Airbnb is another great way to be able to travel, be able to afford it, and also just kind of meet other people. There are similar websites. There's one called HomeAway, but I think that one is more catered towards families. So that one is, I think you have to rent out an entire house. But Airbnb is great for solo travel, maybe couple traveling, or someone on a budget who just wants a place to stay, doesn't really care about where it is, because at the end of the day, all you do is sleep there. So I'm the type of person that doesn't really care about where I sleep as long as it's clean. Of course, like if it's clean, then that's it. But if you don't really care, I mean, then, and hostels aren't for you, then Airbnb, it's a great resource. If you are more of a free spirit, don't really care, there's something called couch surfing, which is something that a lot of travelers do also. And couch surfing is where you stay on someone's couch. There's a whole website, you set up a profile, you can talk to each other. It's a lot like, it's a social media site, so you know, you create a profile, people have profiles, people say like, yeah, like I'm open to having someone staying on my couch. You message them saying, hey, on these dates, can I stay at your place? Yes, no. Some people only want females, some people only want males. I've heard great stories about couch surfing. I've never done it, but I have heard a lot of people who have, and of course there's good and bad stories, but that's, I mean, it's free. You don't have to pay anything to anyone. You literally stay on their couch. So that's, I think that's a little bit more of an extreme free spirit, I don't really care situation, but it's an option. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys these options because they exist, and you don't have to stay in a hotel, and you don't have to spend $400 a night or whatever crazy amount hotels charge sometimes, because like I said, I mean, we're young, we might not have all the money, and I'm just the kind of person, I don't need to stay at a 5-star hotel, so why do I want to pay 5-star hotel price? And like I said, I've stayed at hostels, I've stayed at Airbnbs, and I've never had an issue ever. Some other things for tips for traveling and kind of saving money: book your flight in advance. So I usually start planning for a trip about a year out, especially if it's a long trip. Like I am now starting to plan my Thailand, Bali, Australia trip, which is going to happen next November. So I kind of start monitoring how much flights are, how much hotels are, how much hostels are, just getting kind of familiar with how much I'm going to be spending. And as soon as I start seeing the flights, because flights are always kind of going up and down, so just kind of monitor them and see where you are. And just something to keep in mind, every time you search for a flight from that same IP address, it's gonna go up. So if the first time you see it for 600 and then you're gonna search for that same flight on the same computer from the same IP address, it might be like 675. So every time you do it, either search through an incognito window, or if you can access another through another computer or another phone or whatever, keep that in mind, because websites do track who's watching their flights and they do raise the prices. So don't do it like every day, because they're gonna know it's you and they're just gonna keep upping the price. So that's like a tip that a lot of people don't know. So yeah, when looking for flights, do that. Once you get to your destination, a great way to save money is going to be by using public transportation. I am huge on public transportation. Like when I travel, I don't take taxis. Uber isn't available everywhere, so I don't mind. So public transportation is going to be your best friend. There are apps, there are maps of the city wherever you're staying. Make sure they give you the guides. Also use Google Maps, because most Google Maps work in other countries, and they'll tell you like which bus or which train or whatever. And I think most places are very, very advanced when it comes to public transportation. So that is a great way to save money. Like, stay downtown, stay at a place that has either a metro station, a train station, a bus station nearby, because that's going to be your best friend. So I always do that. Another way to save money, a lot of the touristy places offer something called free walking tours. So these are other travelers, usually nomads, that kind of just live on the road. They give tours for free to other tourists, and they kind of live off of tips. So I usually do that. I love going on these free walking tours, because you get to know other people. Usually they're very knowledgeable. They show you the main attractions. They want to get a tip. I mean, that's how they live. So they do a pretty good job. They're very entertaining. They try to like tell you all the things that they recommend. So it's really, really awesome. And you're also supporting, local travelers or other travelers that are usually just trying to just make some money. So that's one way to save money. One big thing that I think a lot of people spend their money on is food. And if you're looking to budget travel, don't eat away your cash, because that's gonna like just put you negative really fast. So I like to find places, especially because a lot of hostels do this, they offer free breakfast. So that's already an expense you're cutting. No, I don't have to spend money on breakfast. Sometimes you go, they have breakfast buffets at some places. Grab yourself a sandwich, grab yourself an apple on the go. So don't try to eat your cash away. Be very conscious of where you're eating and how much you're spending, because they do charge tourists more. So if you can kind of go to the local places and pay what the locals pay, that's gonna also just cut down your budget. Make a daily budget. So I usually, if it's like Europe or places where it's really expensive, I tend to give myself like $75 to $100 a day. And stick to your budget, because the moment you go above your budget one day, it's going to throw you off for the rest of the day. For the rest of the trip. So be very conscious, make your budget. Depending on how much money you have, this is how much I can spend each day, and stick to it. And it's easy, because once you have that in mind, then you're way more conscious on like, okay, what am I going to eat? What am I going to drink? What am I going to do this? And like I said, unless you want to like just have a luxurious over-the-top trip, you can kind of say, well, I want to spend money here, but I don't really want to spend money here, so I'm just going to kind of move this around, and this is my budget for activities, and this is my budget for this and that. But it's, yeah, like like I said, you don't have to be rich. You just kind of have to know how to manage your money. So, but like, make a daily budget, make an, activities budget, nightlife budget, even a food budget if you want, but budgets and sticking to them, that's going to save you a lot of money. Another great way to save a little bit of money, if you're a student, take your student ID, because a lot of the museums, a lot of the sightseeing, like important places, they have student discounts. So if you show your ID, you're gonna pay a lot less than if you don't. So always take your student ID. I think that's like very important. Those are some of the things that I wrote. Please, if you have any questions about budget traveling, let me know. Like I said, I'm not rich. but I've managed to go to 27 different countries, and I've managed to kind of make that a priority. I love traveling. It's one of my passions, so I make sure that I can do it, and I find a way. So if there's a will, there's a way. If you have any questions, please let me know. I want to answer some of the questions that I got from you guys on Twitter. Please send me your questions. I do have I think it's called Kumi account, and everything is anonymous unless you want your identity revealed. So if you have any questions, comments, please don't be mean, but send them my way, and I'll try to get to them. So some of the questions that I got: what has been your favorite place and why? I think I get this question a lot, like which country has been your favorite, and I don't think I have a favorite country. I feel like they are all so beautiful in their own way, and I've had just some of the most amazing experiences of my life traveling, and please get out there if this is something you want to do. Traveling is amazing. So I want to say like all of the countries are my favorite. What do you look for when researching a hostel? So I'm very big on reviews. Like I said, Hostel World is usually where I go, and Hostel World has ratings, it has reviews. They go like, cleaning list, location, budget, a bunch of different categories. So read all of the reviews, because I'm one of those people that post reviews. So if I see something I don't like and something that I feel like other travelers should know, I'm big on posting reviews. So I read a lot of the reviews. Again, make sure that, or try to get one that is either located near a major site or near a train station or a bus station. Also look for ones that offer breakfast or have like the option to get, like $4 breakfast or whatever, because that's also going to save you a lot of money. And a lot of hostels do that, and it's not bad food. It's not disgusting or anything. And like I said, just read the reviews, because people will tell you if it's bad. So, what are some of the websites for cheap travel? So for flights, I like Skyscanner. Skyscanner, I think, gives you really good deals on flights. So I usually look for flights there. I'm signed up with a bunch of newsletters like Travel Pirates, Travel Zoo, Travelets. And so they send me emails and newsletters monthly that like tell me like, these flights are on sale. We're having like, sometimes they have like $400 flights to Thailand or things like that. So kind of if you sign up for those newsletters, you're gonna get that kind of information, which is good, because if you're looking to go to Thailand and you see $300 flights, then you want to get it right away. So yeah, find that. There's also, I'm part of a Facebook group which is called Girls Who Travel, and it's a huge community. I mean, there's like 200,000 of us, and there's like travel tips on there. There's travel questions, girls looking for other girls to travel with or just connect with. It's a great resource for women travelers. So I don't know if there's a guy one, but if you're a female, I think it's a great way to connect with other females and just learn, because a lot of people give travel tips, city tips, whatever. It's a great way to go for it. Where is your next trip? So I will be going to Colombia in March for a bachelorette party for one of my best friends. So that's going to be in March. And then my really big trip, it's going to be happening next year in November. I will be doing Thailand, Bali, and Australia. And if you guys are interested, I would love to do a vlog about me actually booking it, and like maybe seeing me in action and seeing like what websites I go to, how do I figure out what to do, how do I figure out how long to stay at each city, where do I look at the flights. So all of that, if you guys are interested, let me know, because I will be kind of doing that. And the moment that I actually say, okay, I'm booking everything, I can do a vlog and kind of walk you guys through the process, because it can be overwhelming, and I think it's kind of hard to be like, well, how many days do I stay at this place or at this city, and where do I stay, where do I look for my hotel. So if this is something that you guys are interested, I'm totally open to it, because I'm already planning that trip. Where do you research travel places? I I think TripAdvisor is probably maybe my favorite because they have just kind of everything. They have, you know, like nightlife, they have daily activities, they have nature. So you can kind of research depending on what you like, and there's reviews and there's pictures. So I go to TripAdvisor for like things to do, the nightlife aspect of it, places to see. So I mean, I love TripAdvisor, but I mean, there's so many resources out there, but my favorite is TripAdvisor. Do you use a travel credit card, and which one? Yes, I have the Venture card. The Venture card is great because you get 2 miles for every dollar that you spend. And again, this is another great way to budget travel because I use this credit card daily. I use it for all my stuff, and then when I get paid, all my money goes into that credit card. And I'm just earning up miles. And I was able to go to Jamaica for $5 when I went to Jamaica because I had so many miles that all I had to pay was the fees. I'm going to Connecticut to go visit my sister, and again, I paid like $10 for my flight. So miles are a great way to save money on trips. And I mean, you're already going to be using that credit card daily. I wouldn't suggest getting a credit card just to get miles, but if you're already spending money and you're kind of a little bit more conscious about credit cards, Venture card is a great card, but there are so many out there. What is the craziest thing you've seen? That is a great question. The craziest thing I've seen traveling. I've seen so many things. I mean, you meet so many people. I think that out of the 27 trips that I've taken, I've met probably at least 50 people, and I have them either on Facebook or Instagram or something. Like, I've met some of the most amazing people traveling. So you see a lot of things, but I can't think of the craziest thing. So that's it for the questions that I got, and I just wanted to end this episode with the thought of just get yourself out there. If traveling is something that you're looking to do, like, it really changes you. It opens your mind. It expands your mind. It connects us to one another, and also just kind of makes you see, like, hey, we're all human. We're all very similar. We all have the same struggles. We're all fighting the same battles. And traveling kind of opens that. And honestly, I've met some of the most inspiring people traveling. I've met just amazing souls, and they inspire me. I've inspired some. Like, it's just really cool. And I mean, think about all the stories you're gonna have when you're older, just the experiences. You know, yeah, you get a pair of a Louis Vuitton shoes or belt or purse, and you're happy for, like, I don't know, a month because you have that, and then it goes away and you want another new thing. But traveling, it's gonna stay with you, and it's gonna change you. It's going to be something that you're always going to remember, and you're always gonna have the memories, and you're always gonna have the pictures, and you're gonna have the videos. And like I said, I've met so many people. Like, you have all these connections, and just do it. If you guys have any questions about, like, maybe where to go, like, what's the best place to go for solo travel, for female travel, for couples traveling. I mean, I haven't been everywhere, but I have kind of an idea of this situation. So please let me know. Again, thank you so much for watching and supporting, and for letting me be part of your journey, for letting me kind of help you with whatever that I can. I don't claim to be an expert on anything, but I do have a little bit of experience. So again, thank you. Please, if you like it, if you're interested, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Let other people know. I'm really excited to do this. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Again, subscribe. Contact me on Twitter. If I don't get to, just send me a DM and I'll answer all of your questions. If you have any other questions, send them my way. I will be doing a solo travel kind of guide later on, so that's coming. But yeah, if you have any topic ideas, if there's something that you guys want to know, please let me know. And yes, again, subscribe. Bye guys, thank you.